but so frequently we need a voice that has a spiritual grounding for us. And I think Cosro can be that voice. Again, I think Cosro can be a place where women can come and say, it's not harassment, but this is what I'm experiencing at work, and I feel like it might be gender bias. I'm not being harassed, but I'm being asked to do things that none of my male colleagues are being asked to do. There's this tension between what we feel we need to do, what we feel we're called to do, and what society expects us to do. And I think Cosro has an important role to play in helping us learn how to juggle that tension, because I think that tension's going to be there for a long time.
I think when you talk about the body ministry, it's not gender oriented. It's the spirit. And we have brothers, we have men who are very strong advocates, and I know that. Laymen as well as those in the clergy. I think what that we need to do, what that needs to happen, that needs to be affirmed and then strengthened, and then more brothers brought to the table, because I really think that it could happen. And I know there are those who feel, but they're never asked by many of us to participate, but I think that they would. This is another day. This is a new day. They've watched their mothers and their spouses and their grandmothers move into other places of being and living, and many of them are ready. They're ready to help and to assist us. And I know myself, had it not been for the men in the Eastern Pennsylvania Conference advocating for my Episcopal seat, just like the women were, that maybe I would not have been a candidate.
Cosro has helped me in the rest of my ministry not to back away from the steps of risk that I think we're required to take, even when the hate mail comes, even when people leave the church, even when people, call you names, even when people make accusations. Those are just a part of what it means to be faithful. So thanks to Cosro.
As a United Methodist woman, it's a privilege to be in a relationship with an organization like Cosro that puts the concerns of clergy and lay women front and center. That has been part of the work of United Methodist Women for its entire history. At the turn of the century, at the turn of the 19th century, there was a lot of debate about appropriate roles for women. The United Methodist Women and our predecessor organizations have long worked for full clergy rights and lay participation. In 1888, the very first women were elected to the General Conference. The entire first day of the conference was devoted to debating their credentials. One of those women was a leader in United Methodist Women. She and her sisters and her successors are part of the reason why Cosro exists today. As we moved from full clergy rights for women to more broad concerns about the role of women in the church, United Methodist Women and our predecessors were very committed to the creation of a church-wide entity that would advocate for the concerns of women. Not just women advocating for women, but the whole church owning the role of women as an important part of its mission and ministry. So we're very excited about all the things that Cosro has done through the years to raise up the concerns of women in leadership.
We've still got a lot to do, and it shows up in some of the ways we've already talked about, like in the Texas Conference we've got 25 or 30 what would be considered big, prestigious pulpits, and only, I think, one of them has a female. So there's a lot of work to do in getting our female pastors into the bigger pulpits. And I think there's a lot of work to do in just getting our women into a lot of the leadership profiles. 51% of everything should be kind of a benchmark, with give or take understanding certain things could happen.